The philosophical idea that Macbeth here is talking about is called nihilism. Nihilism is a philosophy that says that the world, and human existence in particular, is without meaning, purpose, truth, or value. It is the most depressing thing that you could possibly believe about life. And, as we'll see in a second, it's not exactly a tenable belief. Nihilism is more like a mood, maybe we would say, than a system of belief. It's certainly not something that you can live in. But it stems from this idea of people being in a place where they recognize their relative smallness in the space of the whole universe, and they wonder, do I have significance? It's a hard question to answer. Certainly, after our conversations on free will and determinism, if you believed, as Macbeth no doubt does, in this deterministic system, and you find yourself as a cog within that machine, you wonder, do I have responsibility? Do any of my actions matter? Am I in any way significant or impactful in the world in which I live? It's worth noticing this idea for Macbeth, of course, comes from his wrong action. He has gotten himself to this horrible place by many repeated decisions to continue acting in a way that is improper. So, a response to nihilism, one would just be the reality of life itself. There are many people who would argue that even if there is no ultimate meaning to the universe, if there's no God or if there's no afterlife, still the beauty of life in and of itself is something that has meaning and is worth not only living, but living well. And this is tied to our belief about human free will, even in a deterministic system that says that you and I still have choices, not only about what we do, but about what we assign meaning to, meaning that you and I can have meaningful lives if we fill our lives with things that are in fact meaningful. And that could be anything from a simple pleasure, such as a cup of coffee, which in and of itself has some meaning, to a life that's lived for virtue and truth and beauty. These things, of course, are things that Macbeth lacks because of his decisions, and yet, as many people would say that it's impossible to live as though life has no meaning at all. We find joy and we find purpose in simple pleasures that we choose to enjoy.